Disposing of the corpse. The ultimate way not to create a beginning was not let the corpse be found. It was even more important than killing him. Thinking on it vaguely, the first thing that came to mind was the swamp. Onagafuchi, the dreadful bottomless swamp, revered even now, that appeared in the legends of Onagafuchi Village. Yeah, the swamp called Onagafuchi was here first, and then the village took its name to become Onagafuchi Village. In other words, the swamp was the origin of Onagafuchi Village. No one, no matter who it was, would float back to the surface of this bottomless swamp. Everyone would be swallowed down into the land of the demons below the earth. That was how the stories went. If I was trying to copy Oishiro-sama's curse, then I felt that theory demanded I discard the remains and the weapon into the swamp. I would do it. Either that or the dam construction site, which is that dumping ground. But they may have said it's bottomless, but I didn't actually know. And people say large creatures like humans produce a lot of gas when they rot, granting a lot of buoyancy. It was why using fairly heavy objects to hold them down didn't work. Come to think of it, with the curse this year before last, Rika's mother drowned herself in this swamp. And the criminal behind the dismemberment that went missing the year of the first curse too. It was rumored he tried to discard the body in the swamp and actually accidentally drowned in it. I never heard of the corpse coming back up or them finding it. Then shouldn't I choose to discard the corpse there too? I could discard the weapon there. And then, for example, if her uncle came out on a motorcycle and attacked, it would be convenient to get rid of the bike too. I knew that Satsuka's uncle generally used a motorcycle for transportation. But as for the corpse... After a lot of worrying, I decided not to discard the corpse in the swamp. The drowning, suicide, and accident were both rumors. Nobody knew if they'd actually happened. But there was a lack of false rumors about the drowning suicide anyway. It was possible the murderer hadn't drowned there and still was on the run. That meant no one had ever confirmed a corpse being dropped in there and then not coming back up. Then what would I do with the body? I thought it might be interesting to go with the first incident, cut them into pieces and hide them. But the preparation and work for dismembering a human body would be difficult given the amount of time I had. With that out of the question, I arrived at the conclusion to go with the more orthodox method of burying the body. Then where I would bury it was a question related to where I would kill him. Of course, I wanted to keep my time and proximity to the body at a minimum. And with that in mind, I would want to dig the hole to dump the body in beforehand and to make the location of the act in the hole close together. The choice of where to plan the crime, that I needed to be absolutely careful and thorough with. It had to be somewhere nobody would witness it, and a place with hiding places for a sneak attack. I could dig a hole for the body right there. I'd go over the possibilities in my head of the various destinations her uncle would head to from Satsuka's house. God, I don't know why I had an issue with that. I imagined a map of the area in my head, and then I found a place that fulfilled those conditions so easily it was almost unbelievable. A bit of a back road that went through the woods. I didn't think her uncle would go deeper into the mound of Yaguchi on a whim. Yagauchi? I don't know, who cares? If he was going somewhere, he'd pass through these woods first. Nobody used this back way unless they had something to do with Satsuka's house, or one of the two places. This place was fantastically ideal, as few people used it. I don't know, I feel like something would go wrong. I would wait for him in these woods. Would an ambush actually be possible? I went into the trees and tried really hiding myself in a few places. It was extremely quiet. My senses could be sharpened here to their maximum amount. I didn't know where he'd come, but I'd wait right here for Satsuka's uncle. I actually had some trouble coming to that decision. The question arose of whether I should somehow call the man out. Was there a risk that I'd be taking taking by... Fuck, why can I not read? Was there a risk I'd be taking by luring him here? That man made Satoko do all the shopping and errands. He seldom left on his own business. He wouldn't leave unless I worked out a plan to force him to, would he? That was the question. Tomorrow was the Watanagashi festival. Would he go out to the festival or would he stay inside? He'd stay inside. If he stayed inside, how would I drag him out of his house? That's right. Wouldn't he make Satoko go to the festival? Satoko would go to the festival. Then if anything came up, he would have to go. Meanwhile, I would call the man. This is the Okinomiya police station. We had the young lady from your house. Could you come and pick her up immediately? It didn't even have to be the police. It's the clinic. The young lady from your house has been injured, and he probably wouldn't care. Please come and pick her up. Yes, that would work, too. If I claimed to be the police or the hospital, told him to come and then hung up on him, he'd rush there trying to figure out what was going on, wouldn't he? And just the other day, he was visited by a probation officer. He wouldn't suddenly grumble about having to get his niece and not go. It would look like child neglect. Oh, good point. The man had no skills useful around the house. Satoko, his slave, was an essential part of his daily life. Conclusion. If he went out to the festival, I would attack him here on his way there or back. If he didn't, I would lure him out by phone. If luring him out by phone was my first step, I needed to be sure Satoko would go to the festival leaving the house. It would be convenient if I could make Mio and take Satoko to the festival. She said her aunt was a district welfare officer. In other words, an ally to the probation officer. If I somehow indicated Mion to take Satoko to the festival with her, well, being who she is, she'd use that fact and get her there. Satoko should just take a break and have fun at the festival with everyone. She would have a good time, reminisce on her former peaceful days, and when she went home, everything would be over. Yeah, that would be the best outcome. With that decided, I needed to dig a hole somewhere in the woods to hide the body. So it wouldn't stand out, so it wouldn't be found. Someplace nobody would see me while I was completely exposed as I buried the corpse. I had wanted it to be close to the scene of the crime, but it naturally grew farther away. Deep in the bosom of the Black Forest. The voices of the Higurashi were the only sounds here, informing me that people shouldn't indiscreetly set foot in this place. Digging a hole, huh? Digging a hole with so many tree roots crawling around the ground would be far more difficult than I had envisioned. I snuck a gardening spade out here in my bag, but that wouldn't be enough. You need a full-fledged shovel. Still, as I looked into various approaches, I managed to find a place I could dig into. Tomorrow I'd bring a real shovel from the storeroom at home. I'd manage that. Wonder how big a hole would have to be to fit a human all the way into it. Well, you need at least 6 feet deep, because you don't want that thing to resurface anytime soon, or smell. I mean, 8 feet by, usually it's 86, so 8 feet deep, 6 feet deep, by 6 feet. I mean, he can't be too tall, so fuck him. And plus he could probably just scrunch up his legs anyways. Fuck him. Screw him. I'd probably have to dig pretty deep down. You're gonna want to be... It's gonna be hard. You're gonna have to actually physically lift yourself out. If it's not any deeper than that, then... Like, if you can easily get out of there without having any struggle getting out, then it's not deep enough. But if I was If I was slipshod in these efforts, I'd let a beginning occur. I absolutely couldn't allow that. Use any amount of time you need to. I mustn't spare any effort to utterly erase him. I glanced at my wristwatch. It was a little past 6. See, I would be doing it now. Pre-dig the hole. Screw it. This was probably all I was going to get done here for today. I really wanted to dig the hole in advance tonight, even if it got dark out. But Mom would be upset if I stayed out that late. It wouldn't be good to come off as suspicious to my parents. I needed to go back home and give Mion a call soon. Good. I need to get her to promise Sataka to take her by tomorrow. Tonight. After that, today would be done. Done. Would it be, though? Was this really everything I could do to prepare right now? I decided where to kill him. I decided how to kill him, and I decided, of course, how to dispose of the body. I didn't decide on a time, but I would play that by ear. Really, all that matters is whenever the festival starts, and whenever you get the hole dug. That's when it will. I didn't have a way to decide that. Was that really all? Was this really alright? Have I overlooked anything? You need an alibi. Would this really go how I planned? After all this, worries started welling up one after another. Just in case something goes wrong, you need an alibi. Iron tight. Which that's where coming in handy with being really good friends with Mion. That is where it really kicks in. You just tell her, oh, if the police ask where I was on Watsunagashi, can you just lie for them? Lie for me and say I was with you guys? Just, that kind of thing. It was only natural I'd be anxious. This would be the first and last big job of my lifetime. I doubt it'll be your last. I could not allow failure, and I had no experience, as this was my first time. I didn't have the know-how, the knack, so it was only natural I'd be anxious. The dark clouds of unease told me doing nothing would be the easiest way, a truly pathetic suggestion this late in the game. Have you forgotten how miserable Sataka looked? From the outside, it may have looked like I was resolute, but deep in my heart, my knees were shaking loudly. I never actually won a single fight to my satisfaction. Could I really kill someone? I can't really give you advice on that. I may have been planning an ambush, but my enemy was large and far older than me. He had a scary face, and he looked like he was well accustomed to fighting. Again, you just had to, if you do the sneak attack route, you just hit him center of mass, get him on the ground, especially if he's on a motorcycle. He'll be dazed and confused. That's when you just start wailing on his head. You just break his, and if his arms are in the way, break his arms. Fuck him. Or break his legs first. That's always good, then he can't run away. One crack right to the kneecap, like right to the side of it, he's done. He's not walking anymore. Knee injuries are the worst kinds of injury. You cannot walk at all. You can try, but it's fucked. I mean, ankle injuries are bad, but you can kind of hobble. Knee injuries, you can't. It's impossible. You need some form of assistance. You're fucked. He'd crawl. He'd be done. Could I have? All the pieces before and after the murder were perfectly planned. But was the actual murder the most important part? What unsettled me the most? All my preparations, all my perfectly concealed machinations. If I didn't successfully murder him, they amounted to nothing. Damn it. After coming this far, you're pathetic, Keiichi Maebara. If you start to have these kinds of second thoughts, your ulterior motive will be obvious. Let's go home. Go home and calm your mind. Tomorrow will be the juncture in your life, the likes of which graduation, employment, marriage, and childbirth couldn't hold a candle to. Yeah, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big thing. I personally wouldn't do it, but whatever. Because I don't give a fuck. I don't care much about her. Now, if this torture was going to Mion, I would go in every way to stop it. Because if I was Keiichi, I would be thinking of the last two would be that's my future. So I have to guarantee that my future would be safe. I had to take care of her. That kind of thing. But of course Keiichi doesn't think that way. Because let's help this child first instead of, thinking about it rationally. A day of murder to kill someone. For someone else's sake. With that day behind us, we would take it back again. Those mild, spring-like days we never thought would stop. The safe, peaceful, fun times. I pedaled my bike hard to get back home. Nothing like a good old outing for murder. I felt somehow unsteady, like my body and soul weren't in alignment. A subtle shift between where the tips of my hands and feet really were and where I felt them to be. My vision was a little distant and narrow, as if the great barrier I risked my future life on had nothing to do with me. An unreal sensation. How could I put it? Everything was so far away. Fine. Feel your unease permeate you, Keiichi Maebara. That will turn your timidity into meta-callousness and allow you to act with greater caution. Oh shit, I actually said that right. Fuck. Wow, that surprised me, even me. It's actually an important emotion to feel. I don't know about you, but I don't feel those kinds of emotions. Do I get nervous? Yeah, probably. Everyone does. That's what makes people people. But that's when I do my best work. When I know everything's over, this is the end, that's when I do the best. I'm a fighter type of person. When my back's against the wall, I claw, scratch, and kick my way out of that situation. So I constantly put myself in that. It's great mental stress, but good God, do I not do my best work under insane stress. I do the best on tests that way, homework, papers, relationships. Well, not exactly relationships, because I take a different approach in that, but you get the general idea. Any hobbies I have, I like to put a lot of stress on me, and that's when I really kick it into high gear. This feeling I had never went away that night. Though people are different, of course. Some people crack under the pressure. And it's really usually half and half. You either excel under pressure or you completely fold. I know people that fold under pressure and it's kind of like, the fuck's wrong with you? Why did you wait this long then? I'm a heavy procrastinator, but I know my limits. I know exactly what I can get done, when to get done. So I do just enough beforehand and then postpone the rest, where I know I'll be fine. It was the first time I'd be calling Mion's house. I searched for her in the phone book the school gave me, then dialed a short phone number, the kind unique to remote places. Man, now I kind of want to go out to like a really old-timey village type deal. I fucking live out there, but I need the internet, so I'll stick to where I am. It was around dinner time. She'd probably be home. You should just go over there, see how she's doing. But just as I started to think nobody would respond, someone finally picked up the receiver. Hello, this is Sonozaki. Oh, I'm sorry for calling so late at night. Is this Mion? Huh? May I ask who's calling? Okay, I guess it's not Mion. It's me, Keiichi. Oh, Kei-chan. It's pretty late. What's up? Aw. She seemed to be in a weirdly good mood and she drew her syllables out. Yeah, I didn't feel like doing that. But oh my god. Too fucking perfect, come on. Right, it's the night before tomorrow's festival, so she's probably with their family having some drinks. Sorry for the late call. Do you have time? You have time right now? Sure, what is it? It's about Satoko. Oh my god. You know, you're supposed to have like a good talk first, and then you get into the bad stuff, and then you have good talks again. That's the key. That's the key, man. Never go straight into depressing topics. I heard her draw in a small breath on the other end. Ah, God. And here I thought that, he'd finally come to his senses and realize how great she is. Satoko, she's in a pretty bad spot. I hope she's okay. The scent of sake had completely disappeared from her voice. She can't be okay. You saw too, didn't you? What she was like. She was completely worn out from all the abuse. We failed her all this time, and now she's become like that. We didn't fail her. Everyone tried their hardest to help her. But we didn't come up with anything, and we couldn't save her. In the end, we couldn't do anything about it, and now she's become like that. I guess you're right. All I did was watch after all. Oh, it's not your fault. It's all of our fault. It's not your fault. No. See, I'd immediately say on the other, well, no, it's not just your fault. You did try. God, I'd be too nice to her, though, honestly. So, well, at least... couldn't we at least let her have fun for one night? Huh? Let her have fun? She's been so battered lately. You understand? That's why. I want you to take her to the Watanagashi festival tomorrow. I don't mind. But why? Why? I want to give her a breather, at least for the festival night, you know? Even if it's just for one night, if she can get away from her evil uncle, then I think she'll be happy, even if it's only for a little while. Yeah, but why? Why? Why what? Why are you telling... What... Mio's asking, why can't you do it? Why do I have to? That's the real why. What are you gonna be doing? She probably already has the inkling of, yeah, I get you. I know what you're doing. I was having a little difficulty understanding what Mion was asking me. Why? Well... I mean, why don't you bring her, Kei-chan? Why do you need to ask me to do it? Mion was persistent about odd things. It's not odd things, it's a natural question. Because why would you bring it up if it's your idea? Why don't you just do it? That kind of thing. And she cares about your well-being. No, maybe it's better to say that she was sharp. She is. She's insanely intelligent. And perceptive. I actually have something to do tomorrow. I can't make it to the festival. No. That automatically means you're fucked. So I wanted you to take Sataka there for me. Something to do? It's nothing major. I'll probably finish quickly. But I might not be able to meet up with you all tomorrow. Hey, Mion. Could I leave Sataka to you just for tomorrow night? Mion took a long time to give her a reply. I got the feeling that Mion had been acting weird for a while now. Like she was flustered by emotions or something. Because she doesn't want to see you do this. Because she knows what you're gonna do. No. Oh. Oh. No. Oh. Oh, don't make her cry. Not again. Huh? Was that a sob? Mion? Are you crying? I said no. I don't want to. I don't want you to push this onto someone like me. I'm not trying to push anything onto you. It's just for tomorrow night. That was a lie. What? Mion, what was she talking about? Saying it's just for the night of Watanagashi. And then it was forever. Liar. But I guess we're even, huh? I couldn't keep the promise I made with you. I left her alone all this time. Oh, what the fuck? Come again? I had no idea what to say to that. Mion was clearly now talking to someone other than me. I didn't know who. All I could do was listen to her in a daze. You never came back after that, and now you called me again to push her onto me. You're so unfair. Hey, you're Satoshi, aren't you? Mion, what are you talking about? When I said her name, whatever spell was on Mion was released. Oh, I'm sorry. It's nothing. It's just that I got a phone call a lot like the one you're making now, a long time ago. Was it from Satoshi? Mion didn't answer. All I could hear were sobs coming through the receiver. Sorry. I think I'm still a little tipsy. I got all weirdly emotional. Sorry, I probably scared you. I had no idea how it happened. But I was probably pretty sure that last year, on this very day, Satoshi had called Mion and told her to bring Satoko to the festival. And when she asked why he needed her to do it, he replied the same way I just did. Satoshi didn't go to the festival, did he? Yeah. He said he had something to do and couldn't make it. And he told me to take Satoko there in its place. At the time, Satoshi said it too, didn't he? That he'd leave Satoko to you? Yeah, he did. Just for tomorrow night. The way you said it, just like how he did. I just got a little upset, caught up in a memory and all. I didn't expect this. Satoshi had given her the exact same phone call 1 year ago today. Mion kept going after that. That he was lying. That he told her it would only be for the night of the festival. I get it. God, oh, I don't know. The fact that she stopped when he said Mion? I never like to say that Mion's crazy. I'm always going to say default to Shion. I don't know. I could definitely see, like, Shion answer the phone. And then, like, you know, wait. Actually, I need to check. Because I want to see if... She never said it's Mion. He just asked, is this me? Okay, no, that's Shion. 100%. Guaranteed. I see you, game. I got that sharp wit. No, because the fact that he said, can I speak to Mion? And she said, may I ask who's calling? And the fact that didn't say, oh yeah, it's her. Because that's what everyone always does on the phone. Yeah, you're speaking. Who is this? Yeah, it is. Who's asking? Who's calling? It's obvious. And plus, Mion would recognize Keiichi's voice. Shion would be a little less familiar with it. So, 100% Shion. Calling it. I get it. A few days later, Satoshi, he disappeared. Disappeared might have been a rather vague way to put it. Whether he ran away or not, Satoshi left abandoning Sakato. God, I wish he said transferred. Because if she'd gotten really upset at that, then that's Shion. Yeah, he didn't transfer or run away from home. He disappeared. Oh, that's right, that's Shion. Oh, got your ass. Yep, Shion. Because she's really focused on the fact that he didn't transfer. Or didn't run away. Mion said he ran away. At least that's what the police said. Yeah, that's Shion. Gotcha. You will never trick me. I swear to God. You had me there going for a second. But it was too un-Mion-like. Too fake. And then an idea far from indistinct, far more indistinct than even fog crossed my mind. Satoshi made exactly the same phone call as me last year. Why would Satoshi make the exact same call? If in the truest sense he really made the exact same phone call as I am right now, then the incident where their aunt was beaten to death, he fucking killed her. And then the drug addict that they arrested was just some random dude. Fuck. Oh my God, the turnaround if he got really hopped up on drugs right before killing him, really fucked up his face type thing. And he actually went to jail and that whole thing, oh, that would fuck with people so hard. Oh, that would be awesome. Was Satoshi... Huh? What was that? Last year. Satoko had been constantly abused by her uncle's wife, their aunt, too. Her aunt abused her the most, and on that night, in the name of Oyashiro-sama's curse, she was taken from this world. If I thought about that, everything made perfect sense, didn't it? Last year, Satoko's aunt was beaten to death, wasn't she? Who would it be? Would it be impossible for Satoshi to have? She'll say no. No, but that would mean... But then Satoshi, he was a coward who abandoned Satoko and ran away, wasn't he? How could Satoshi resolve himself to kill a person, to save Satoko? It was unthinkable. I actually considered that as well. Though it'd be mean to Satoshi. Why? It's not mean. It's a legitimate argument that he was trying to save Satoko. If that's not mean, it's more heroic that he sacrificed himself, knowing that he wouldn't be able to come home. That he did that for. It's not cowardly at all, it's the opposite. It's not mean, it's heroic. At least that's my view on it. I could have a different outlook on it than other people. On Satoko's birthday. When I first heard it, I flew into a rage. What a cruel day to have run away on. But now that I thought about it like this, the story changed completely. Satoshi had probably been even less calm than I was now. He was her big brother, related by blood, watching his little sister be abused day in and day out. Maybe that's why he couldn't keep calm. What Mion said is that the police were looking after him. It could have been in connection to that. And that was why the corpse of their aunt beaten to death was so easily discovered. Satoshi lost himself in his anger and hadn't hidden the corpse. He'd permitted a beginning to occur. If the police conducted a full-blown investigation, it was easy to imagine they wouldn't take long to pin down Satoshi as the culprit. So he ran away. Satoshi, he wished for a return to peaceful days with Satoko, and though he achieved it for a time, he had been steadily driven into a corner. And then he wanted at least to hold out until Satoko's birthday, but finally they nailed him. At the time, Satoshi had been carrying the savings he amassed to buy Satoko a giant stuffed animal for a present. He would buy the stuffed animal as her gift and then get caught. Or he could use the money and disappear. That was the choice he had been forced to make. And he decided not to make Satoko the sister of a murderer. True. Like I said, he sacrificed himself. That's how I was saying it. Like, once it said, yeah, he could have done it, he immediately sacrificed himself. Knowing that he can't come back. Because they'd immediately go to people that were being abused. That's straight up first impression. You're going to automatically assume that. They're going to look at the weapon. I don't know what what the weapon was, but they will look at it, investigate that. If they can find an easy link to him and whatever weapon was used, he's going to be booked. And that would crush Satoko even more than running away. Because in this way, there's still hope that he can come back, but he's not going to. He had to completely change his life. He left. He's probably not even Satoshi anymore, because he knows he can't come back. For a while. Years. Until he knows that people won't investigate him. All that money he'd saved, wanting to see Satoko happy, he had to use it to make her sad. And he used the savings and disappeared to Tokyo, if the rumors were true. Hey, Mion said he ran away. Was that how Satoshi disappeared? I don't know. That Oishi guy seems to think that way, though. Oishi. Had he been slowly driven into a corner by that repulsive man's pig-headed pursuit? Probably. The circumstantial is all there, evidence is all there, but I think your deduction is wrong. They caught some crazy drug addict somewhere in the prefecture, and he apparently turned himself in for the crime. I was right. The deviant had confessed, and the incident was solved. They said he really wasn't just a crazy person, and he had no ties to Hinamizawa. And no relationship with Satoshi, of course. I mean, I have a pretty hard time believing that guy would lie to in Satoshi's place. You couldn't just arbitrarily decide like that. You never knew where or how humans are tied together. If that guy took the blame, then it was the perfect crime. Of course, if it was really a perfect crime, there would have been no reason for Satoshi to vanish. Plus, I don't think Satoshi had the kind of money to run away. That day he withdrew all of his savings. No matter who I tell this to, nobody believes me, but that stuffed animal he said he was buying for Satoko? It was gone from the display, sold. It must have been Satoshi. Wait a minute. If he didn't use the money to flee and bought the stuffed animal instead, he would have gone back to Satoko, wouldn't he? It seems unbelievable he'd buy it and then disappear without having given it to her. Yeah, so now I don't know what happened. It would be one thing if he had the money, but if he used all the savings on it, he'd be totally broke. You can't live a life on the run without money in this world. Interesting. I don't know what to think, honestly. Fuck. I want to believe Mion's theory, but might be wrong. You never know. Fuck, that's interesting. That's really getting to me. Fuck, I want to know. Shit. I didn't get it. After all that, I was understanding Satoshi less and less.